Hey guys, welcome back to Susan Shares. Well, it's been a while. For one reason or another, I've been doing a lot of speaking and traveling and just not been able to do the Susan Shares sit down. So I'm so glad to be back with you. And today we're going to talk about something that is just life. It's hard, but it's life. And sometimes life is hard. We go through some stuff that we'd rather not talk about. And it's just how people can be harsh sometimes to us, can't they? And how do we handle that? Because sometimes when we know that we're doing the right thing, we know our plumb line with God is spot on, like God's told me to do this. I know we're good. And when we're good and we're taking a stand for what is right, other people attack us. I mean, big time attack us. So what do I do with that? And so even in Scripture, in Proverbs, it says a gentle word turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And the flip is usually true. If you're angry, then you're going to have harsh words. And so, of course, it says that a harsh word will stir up anger. And so that's what happens, when others are generally straight up, their plumb line is good. God's told me to say this, and I can take a stand. I've got His confidence in me. Then I'm going to do this. Like I said, I've done my homework. I'm confident in what He's told me to do. Then here comes somebody with a harsh word. I've got an example of this. Usually stories paint a better picture than any other, thing. So years ago, it does date me, I was on the Bentonville School Board. Oh, this is when God taught me a most valuable lesson, and it was how to separate person and issue. Oh, I'm thankful to Him even to this moment and beyond. It's such a valuable lesson, how to separate person and issue. And on the school board, when you're a member, you are voting, or you're voting with a lens of K through 12. You're not just doing a special, elementary or a secondary or just voting for something very personal to you. You're voting with that K through 12 lens for Bentonville Public School District and for your community, to serve your community and your district. That's the lens I was voting for. You're voting with the information that's given to you. You're studying very diligently all that information with that lens, again, of K through 12, which I did. After a board meeting, and we had several controversial issues, and specifically I'm thinking that this one particular night, it was a very controversial issue, and I had finished the vote and walking from the board room to my car by myself, and this man was saying so many harsh things, and then he started, he spat on me is what he did. He was spitting, and he spit on me. And that so took me back. I kind of gasped, like, it's almost a feeling of, you feel almost less than human when somebody spits on you. I'd never had anybody spit on me before, except maybe when the babies were little and they inadvertently were spitting on me, but this was a man that spit on me. And after he did it, he then continued to say really harsh words, and I just continued to walk by myself to my car, kind of briskly, but I just continued to walk. And obviously the vote did not go his way, and I did not vote the way he wanted me to vote. And I got in the car, closed the door, and I was just like, I cannot believe that just happened. And I was just shaking all over. I made it home. The boys are small, and so I didn't say anything to them at that moment. But I, of course, told Steve, my husband, who really embraced me and just really comforted me, and was very appropriate and in his response and everything. And then we prayed together. We prayed like, God, how do I handle this? What just happened, and how do you want me to handle it? And, you know, Steve, I felt like God used Steve because he was just like, Susan, I know how much you prayed about even this decision. And I know you felt the plumb line was good. I know that you felt right about this decision. You had done your homework. You had looked at it the way you felt like God had you look at it. You had done all the studying. You felt good about it. I certainly wasn't the only one that voted. This was a huge majority of the board that voted the way I did. But nonetheless, you felt good about it. And also, the best thing you can do is be the light God would have you to be. So continue living the way that he would have you live. Don't hide behind anything. Just be that person he would have you be. Separate now. This is when God taught me the lesson. Separate person and issue. There's two different things here. There's the person and there's the issue, you know, and you've got to, God is teaching you how to separate the person and issue. I felt strongly about that. And that's what we have to do, because we can't get on that level of anger. It will stir up strife, and a gentle word turns away strife. And that's where the separating has to be. And we cannot please all men. And who's our example of that is Jesus himself. Oh, they loved and worshiped him. They also hated him, ridiculed, and killed him on the cross, all the way to the cross. Oh, they hated him. And, he's our example of that. You cannot be a people pleaser. You have to decide who you're going to please, God, plumb line, or man. And it was very clear to me that night. It cannot be man, because you can never always please man, ever. Somebody will spit on you. That is for sure and certain. My plumb line has got to be my most important person that I please, which is Jesus. And am I good there? Because I don't own other people's response. People will be harsh in their response to me. And I don't own that, because you know what? That man did not have the information I had. His knowledge was not my knowledge. I had a boatload of information why I voted the way I did. He had none of that information. He only wanted what he wanted, and that's true. I can't deny that. But he didn't have my information, nor did he want it. But I can't own that, and I can't make him want my information. He might have voted the way I did had he had my information, but he didn't, and he didn't want it, but I can't own it. So I just have to stay true to my plumb line and be okay with and I have to be okay with him not being okay with me. And that's so difficult for us, because our identity has to be wrapped up in God, not in anybody or anything else. So think about that. It's hard, y'all. It's hard, but that's the way it's got to be. I love you. Bye-bye.